Good morning, friends. On this fourth day of this 21-day MDP training, uh, today we have Dr. Prakashkumar Rathod, who will be delivering the lecture on scientific feed and fodder production for sustainable livestock sector. We are very glad to have you, sir. Welcome. I will make a brief regarding the brief biodata of Dr. Prakash Rathod, sir. He is presently working under the Directorate of Extension in the post of Associate Professor and Head in charge for Livestock Research and Information Center for Devni Cattle in Bidar, Karnataka, under Karnataka Veterinary Animal and Fishery Sciences University, Bidar. He has graduated from Veterinary College, Bidar in 2008. He has completed his master's in discipline in veterinary and animal husbandry extension education from prestigious Mumbai Veterinary College under the aegis of MAPSU Nagpur in 2010. At his master's study, he was awarded JRF from the ASPI Agriculture Foundation, Mumbai. He has qualified UGC, JRF and SRF examination for his PhD studies at IVRI Izzatnagar, UP. Currently, he is associated with Directorate of Extension, Karnataka Veterinary Animal and Fishery Sciences University, Bidar, since July 23 and working as head in charge. He is associated with UG and PG teaching, research activities and extension activities through the his center. Also, he is through his research background, he is a principal investigator for 5 projects and co-PI for 2 projects, which are funded from the different agencies, to namely few World Bank funded Sujala 3 project, ICR's SCSP project, ICR NASF, then Karnataka Livestock Development Agency, SCSP TSP grants of Government of Karnataka. And apart from this, mostly these projects aim to improve the livelihood of the farmers through scientific livestock interventions, and the same have been published through different research papers in the conference and seminars. Also, he was associated with the prestigious ICRISAT as a visiting scientist from March 18 to 20, and where he look upon the interventions in 7 projects based for Telangana, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, and Orissa. So, apart from his research and education, he is continuously engaged in the extension work for the farming community and also for the inline officers. So, he has conducted nearly 20 trainings and demonstrations for them, 70 trainings and 75 trainings for the benefit of the farming community. And also he has published more than 60 research papers in high quality national and international journals. Apart from that, 30 contributions for training manuals, compendium, book chapters, folders, etc. The 20 different documents, particularly regarding the training manuals, practical manuals for the UG and PG students, and member for the annual reports, compendium, proceedings of the books. So he is also a member for various professional societies, and also he has been bestowed with the 8 Best Paper Presentation Award, 2 Best Poster Presentation Awards at national and international forums. Apart, he has also received a recipient of prestigious Young Scientist Award. In his educating days, he was awarded with the Best Student Award and also Ganga Singh Chauhan Memorial Award for Sustainable Agriculture Award, Excellence in Extension Award, and also recipient of the Eminent Scientist Award by various professional societies. So I welcome you all and a very good morning to all the friends and fellow participants. So here we are, Dr. Prakash Rathod, who will be delivering a lecture on the scientific feed and fodder production for sustainable livestock sector. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Vasan, sir. Is it audible, please? Sir, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So please let me know if there is any hiccups in the presentation. So thank you, Dr. Vasan, sir, for the profile actually, and it is really a very pleasure moment for me that NADCL has given me this opportunity to deliver a talk on scientific feed and fodder production for sustainable livestock sector. And in fact, actually, this presentation is very important one for even agriculture as well as livestock sector, which with regards to the improvement of this livestock sector. And my basic presentation would be revolving around some of my points which I have already read out. Some projects in Karnataka as well as. So I just try to. So as mentioned, actually, I'm also looking after the farm. So that is focusing mostly on conservation promotion of dual cattle breed. That is actually the only breed of cattle. And we are actually involved in propagation of genetic material. So these are some of the facilities, and we have at our farm, we're having a loose housing system and a conventional system. Then we have got almost 30 acres of fodder crops presently in the farm. So, and apart from that, we are also utilizing all the resources. Maybe I don't call them as waste. I use the word resource. We have actually farmyard manure, we have cow urine, we have vermicompost unit. So we are trying to sell them even actually after using it for our farm. So let us come to the livestock sector. As we all know that actually livestock sector is very essential for having a livelihood security in the form of milk, meat, egg. And we also know that it's a major contributor for doubling farmers' income. And before I actually get into the actual presentation, I just want to say what is the status of extension, because we keep on blaming the extension system, and we are also part of the system. I'm also part of extension, but we should understand that extension is actually very sporadic in our Indian scenario. It's very casual, and it is, I can say, even highly unorganized, because we know many things to be done in extension, but actually we are not able to do it because of one or the other constraints, maybe budget, maybe human resource, maybe infrastructure, whatever it is. And next is we had an experience, like I did my PhD from IVR and I worked with Dr. Mahesh Chandar. So we had a research done on this particular topic, what is the contribution of extension and how the universities as well as the states are contributing basically for extension. And we could find that we are hardly spending actually 1% budget for extension activities. I'm talking about livestock sector, because the standard says that we should spend 100 rupees, or that is nothing but 10 rupees, 10% of actually the total budget. So it means actually if 100 rupees is being allocated for animal husbandry activities, 10% or 10 rupees should be given for extension activities, but which is not happening. Hardly actually we are seeing it to about 1% of the budget for extension. And that is why actually we are not able to do better in extension. And another important thing we need to understand is feed and fodder management, which is the need of the hour, but our major focus has been always towards healthcare and breeding. Because I say this point because it's a professional forum we have. Our major focus has been always on healthcare and breeding, but meanwhile actually our extension, our feed and fodder has taken a back step. So this is what we need to understand actually and go ahead with the scenarios. So this is the, if you look at the demand and supply with regards to the fodder, we can see actually this green color bar charts. What you are seeing is actually the green fodder demand, because we know there is a lot of demand, and it is in terms of million tons. We see that actually every year actually the demand is increasing, and we have an estimate done by actually IGFRI that is till 2050. So that is how actually we are working with. And then actually we have got green and dry fodder deficit, in fact. So we can see the deficit actually up to 2050. So this study is talking about CP and TDN status. Again, there we have the deficit with regards to crude protein and actually and total digestible nutrients. So this also we need to address. And let me actually go ahead with the basic issues we have. See, I'm trying to give major constraints. We are the issues actually we have in feed and fodder production, as well as actually try to give up some strategies. So we have worked on some of the strategies. So that's why I'm trying to share my experiences in order to address them. And maybe I'll be happy to take few of the suggestions from your side also. So these are the major constraints we have, because we have tried to pull up these constraints, taking into our own experiences, discussing with farmers, discussing with different officials or professionals. So obviously, actually, we see that there is untimely or irregular supply of seeds or inputs, because we see some of the schemes which are being run by different state departments or central governments, but seeds are not being distributed in time. And many times they reach late, and then there's lack of knowledge. And farmers also feel that there is no immediate benefits from scientific feeding, because there is some investment required, there is some efforts required, but farmers are not ready to do that. And then we have issues like scarcity of water, land, labor. Then always the preference is towards agriculture crops as compared to the fodder crops, because we see cash crops coming in, and we very rarely give actually some land, actually at least some 10% or 20% of our land for fodder cultivation. These are some of the issues which we know, most of us know this. And then we are trying to address some of the issues, that is through some strategies. So how to go for a cost effective concentrates or supplement feed. Then silage is one point, enrichment of dry fodder we have. We can think of community grazing lands. The chaffing is another important thing, because we see a lot of wastes if the feed is being given or the fodder is being given without chaffing. Then we have area specific mineral mixtures. We need to go for capacity building. We need to look after effective utilization of water resources. So these are some of the issues. Sorry, these are some of the strategies which we can think. And based on these strategies, actually, I'm just trying to go ahead with my actual presentation, because what I call them as actually is a good practice, because I use the word good practice because it is a method or a process how we have tried and how we are done to achieve some things. I don't say this is 100% good practice, because I feel it is good at my level, because maybe if I have somebody sitting in Himachal, somebody sitting in maybe hilly area, the coastal area, you can think of your own practices. So there is not much specific good practice, but it is based on your experiences, it's based on your region. So that is how actually we are trying to explain, because we have tried to frame these practices looking at our own experiences here. I'm just trying to give some of our own experiences in the field, because there was, as it is mentioned, like while briefing out my profile, I have handled actually a Sujala 3 project, which is actually the World Bank funding, and World Bank through we have received it through Karnataka government. So in that, actually, our major focus was to address different aspects. So these are different partners we have. We have actually the state department of we have the departments like agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, and then we had universities. We have veterinary university, which is looking after livestock component. So these are some of the project objectives. So the project was in actually 11 districts of Karnataka, and I was the in charge for actually Bidar district. We had 14 villages in the Bidar district. Actually, we are looking after the livestock components. I'm just trying to brief the methodology how we started with, because many times we feel that actually this is about feed and fodder, why actually our resource person is going away from the topic. But why I'm trying to give that brief methodology is we need to understand actually what happens in the base. Because if we have a basic data, if we have a baseline data, it is going to help us actually in framing the different activities or framing different strategies. So I will go ahead with my own experiences. See, when we started actually doing the baseline survey, we could come up with certain outline basic points. So it was actually, we knew that actually this area had more desi cows and buffaloes. The average milk production was 2.68 liters. And with regards to feeding, most of them were actually feeding jawar, straw, or sugarcane tops. And then there was negligible fodder production. And very rarely we had hybrid napier being grown, and majority of them were not aware about legume fodders. So in continuation with that, we know the health issues, we know the housing issues, we know the marketing issues. And then in the same way, actually, if we look at goat and sheep production, we have Bidri and Usmanabadi goats little prominent here. We see actually extension system, and we see flush feeding and transition feeding is completely absent. Then the market is again unorganized. See, the point of giving this basic outline is this will help us actually in planning the different activities. See, based on the gaps I have in my field areas, in my project areas, I could actually frame certain interventions. See, the first critical gap was low productivity. So I feel, so this can be addressed using the interventions like promoting balanced feeding, maybe increasing green fodder availability. Then we had green fodder shortage. So you can think of cultivation, you can think of fodder trees. Then we have fodder wastage as another issue. So this helped us actually in framing different interventions. And I'm sure most of you working in the field can also try to have certain basic gaps studied and then plan the activities. Because many times, if we know the basic things, if we know the critical gaps in that particular area, it will really help us actually in framing the interventions accordingly. I don't say actually this is the gap everywhere, because this is a gap that we could identify and we could frame accordingly. And I'm sure each and every region has its own gaps, because in fact working in Karnataka had different experience as compared to Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh. So I can give both the comparisons there. So that is how actually we can plan the things. And same thing with regards to even goat and sheep production, how to address them is actually some of the issues. So based on our experiences, we started with some of the interventions. So based on the critical gaps we had. So, and this major focus, because we had different activities related to clean meal production, we had related to mastitis, but I am trying to address mostly with the feed and fodder related things in this my presentation. So we know that utilization of feed and fodder is very essential, and we need to understand it's a very to 70% of green fodder, 20 to 30 of dry fodder, and 5 to 10 of concentrates. So in fact, actually we should understand that at field level, it is very difficult to explain to a farmer how much TDN he requires, how much crude fiber he requires, how much ash he requires. But in case if we can brief them at a farmer level, we can just in brief, we can say that which green fodder to be given, what dry fodder to be given, how much concentrate is to be given. And accordingly, we have a component of concentrate feed, which is basically a combination of maize or some cereals. Then we have oil cakes, then we have husk or bran, then we have what mineral mixtures. In fact, having a concentrate feed at our home, preparing at ourselves actually will be very cost effective. But in fact, nowadays it is not possible, since most of them are not ready to do, and it's very cumbersome for them. And that's why we have got actually different private companies entering into this field. And we have also got many other actually even federations, milk cooperatives involved in this. So these are some of the components we have basically in feed and fodder. And then we need to always focus on the green fodder, and green fodder can be categorized into legumes, into non-legumes. And just sharing some of my experiences of this particular project. The idea was, because in the 14 villages, the idea was to identify two farmers at least per village in the beginning, to identify 2 farmers per village, and actually ask them to grow at least 5 different varieties of fodder on only 2 guntas each. Means in our local language, if I say is, so 1 gunta is nothing but 1/4 of the acre. So that is how actually it is being planned. So it was planned like that, and actually we started the different activities, awareness programs, and some human resources were also given, and some inputs were also given to the farmers. Some publications were also being distributed to the farmers. Over 15, 16, and 16, 17, when we started the project, so we who started with initially 9 varieties, and then actually next year he moved to only 6 varieties. So he could actually bring up a yield of almost 37.25 tons. And we didn't sell it actually, but actually if you can calculate it, then we could actually bring it almost that we could get an income of 37,000 considering the local rates. And then later on, actually he, as a part of the project, distributed to 7 other farmers, the project farmers only, apart from actually giving it to his friends and relatives. And then these 7 farmers have cultivated next in almost the 46 guntas, means it is almost more than 1 acre now. But because the point is, when the farmer is not aware about the green fodder, because I can take example of Haryana and Punjab, the Haryana, or actually even some northern part of it, where there is a commercial dairy farming. And if you take even the Punjab, because for them actually green fodder cultivation is a routine practice, and they do it. But actually it is not a practice in most of the places where it's a dry belt. And that is why actually this experience has given us actually certain confidence for us to work on the fodder production things. Then in the year 16, 17, we could add 3 more farmers. Then in the year 17, 18, we could actually 6 more farmers. So this is how actually we started documenting it. But the point is, we could see actually a lot of benefits out of that. We saw actually good milk yield, and actually the farmers got very good social recognition with regards to this. And during our experience, actually we saw DHN6, that's actually Dharwad hybrid Napier. In fact, actually there are many other good varieties now, but that time actually Dharwad hybrid Napier and Sespenia grandiflora, the fodder tree, these 2 are actually well accepted by the farmers, and it was well maybe disseminated to the farming community. So this is how actually the horizontal diffusion took place, and 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18. This is how actually the farmers started adding 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3 plus 6, 6 plus 11, like that. And I'm also very happy. Sorry to share that normally what happens is when a project comes to an end, it is very difficult for us to have closing strategies. So that is very essential, because in fact in this case actually the project was transferred to some other expert, and actually I moved to ICRISAT, and because of which actually there was little disturbance in the project and this project activity, because the similar is condition in most of the government based projects. So we have to actually look at this point, because it's a negative point of our own project that I'm trying to express here. So these are some of the press clips actually most of our farmers received because of this green fodder production. Now I'll move to the next component. After having a green fodder production experience, we have another component that is nothing but dry fodder enrichment. Because if I go to some places, actually we see the basic concept is most of the farmers are very much aware about actually the waste that they have, or actually the resources they have, but actually they are not able to use it. See, I'm giving an example. Like we have a sugarcane trash. We have actually either actually the jawar straw, we have paddy straw, which can be utilized to certain extent as a fodder. Because I'm just giving some experience we had, because we have a method of urea ammoniation as well as urea treatment. Please let us not confuse with urea treatment and urea ammoniation. And we also should understand that urea, which we are using in a very recommended dose, is not toxic, because many of the times farmers have that feeling that it is very toxic for us and we cannot use it. So if you take urea ammoniation experiment, it is actually simple. If you say using 4 kg of urea in 40 to 45 kg of liters of water, and using it for 100 kg of straw. So it is being chaffed and it is being spread across, and then actually it is being closed and kept under airtight conditions for almost 21 days, airtight and watertight conditions for 21 days. That is urea ammoniation method. And another is urea treatment method, where we are using hardly 2 to 3% of urea, and it is being fed directly to the animals. So direct feeding, we are using urea treatment. Urea ammoniation requires actually the anaerobic condition for 21 days, where actually all your fibrous materials is being broken down, and it is being converted to highly rich protein content through ammoniation process. So we had this experience, and interestingly, Bidar and actually some parts of Karnataka are very good in sugarcane cultivation. And we had a research of one master student as well as one PhD student. We could see that actually people are burning sugarcane trash. So you can see how people are burning sugarcane trash, because this is similar to the stubble burning case in North India. And we actually utilize this platform actually and try to explain them, try to demonstrate the things. And actually we came up with certain results, like where I can see that actually sugarcane trash, normal sugarcane trash had 3% crude protein, but actually after ammoniation we got almost 12%, which is 4 times more than the actual crude protein. And then we could see actually farmers doing it on their own. You can see farmers, the images, you can see the images the farmers have implemented on their own after having these demonstrations and understanding the benefits of it. And on the other side, you can see actually one thing I can very clearly say is the amount or the fodder you are saving is as good as actually you are purchasing it. Because we see actually there is a lot of shortage of green fodder, shortage of actually dry fodder in this part of Karnataka. And actually farmers started using this method, and actually with very low cost of investment, they started actually getting more benefit out of this. So income, actually we are trying to come up with some economics having this, because they try to sell this having 5 rupees per kg of actually the sugarcane trash. And actually we invested, and then that calculation was very specifically for 2016-17. But today actually there is a little bit price hike in actually the dry fodder, hike in actually urea price, and that is how actually we can calculate accordingly to the present situations. But in fact this is very interesting that actually rather than burning of these actually sugarcane trash, we can use them actually for the fodder production in our animals. And we saw that actually many farmers could get actually better milk yield, as well as actually the fat and SNF content was also improved. So then after having a trash fodder enrichment experience, this actually this is how actually we try to publicize and actually to involve farmers to different newspapers and media. Next, I'll be moving ahead with another component that is nothing but silage making. I'm just trying to touch upon different things with our own field experiences, because we know silage making, which is actually a process where actually we have a thick stem crops, we just try to cut them and actually chaff them and store them under anaerobic conditions. That is called as ensiling. See, today actually in the old method we were supposed to make some pits, we were supposed to make some tower silos, but today actually you are able to get some silage bags. You can see actually how the farmers have started using the demonstration method, and actually we try to educate them and they started using the silage bags. So this actually is very important. And one thing we need to understand is, many times today actually everybody feels that actually I need to go for silage. Let us, and we also see some lacunae in the government system that each and everybody is getting a silage bag. One thing is very clear: if I have actually silage for, if I have green fodder for myself for 12 months, I don't have to go for silage. But if I need to think of some additional plans, like for example, I have actually good rains in this rainy season, so I can't get actually the green fodder in next season, maybe in the summer season. So in that case, maybe I can plan for having a silage, because which will be helpful for us in the lean season. This is what is the basic concept. You should have surplus green fodder to go for silage making. So if you do not have actually surplus green fodder, there is no need of going for silage making. And this is the basic concept we need to understand. And actually have tried to conserve this green fodder in the form of silage. So they try to make in water containers, they try to make it through the pits, they could make it through the silage bags. And these are basic concepts actually how farmers have started utilizing it. And coming ahead with the business model, again, there is a company actually which is based in actually Telangana. So this is the company Cornex Silage. You can even Google it. So the basic farmers, they give good quality seeds, especially the maize seeds are actually thick-stemmed crops for the fodder purpose. And once your things are ready, it is a system of contract farming. Once the fodder is ready for harvesting, the company people will enter into everything. They try to chaff it. They try to pack it up, and it is being, as well as few Asian countries. I have seen actually it is being sent even across Nepal, Bangladesh, apart from Haryana and Punjab. So it means actually this is a business model which we need. We have many youngsters, actually many educated people. Maybe if we are able to interact with many of our youngsters, we can think of such entrepreneurial opportunities so that our people businesses. And this is another thing we have, that is area specific mineral mixture. We know that many of our farmers are not aware about this mineral mixture. And in fact, today actually even the KMF, that is actually the milk federations, the cooperatives are actually distributing it. And it has come up a concept like area specific mineral mixture. Depending on the lacunae or deficiencies we have in our soils, we are able to develop this mineral mixtures. So this hardly we need 25 grams for the cows and actually 50 grams for the adults. And this is really helpful with regards to reproductive activities. It is helpful with regards to the other health. After taking a different study on this, I think very soon we'll be ready to come up with a presentation, or maybe actually be able to give up some statistics on this. This is another thing, that is the fodder chaffing, a very basic concept, but most neglected one. I have seen actually in Karnataka, I have seen in some parts of Maharashtra, where actually I was doing my masters, because we feel that actually we don't have much time, but because we have not realized actually the importance of fodder chaffing, because that is why actually having a better palatability actually, or actually having a better rumination process, we need to go for the fodder chaffing, and which can even reduce, either it can be a manual method or it can be through the machines. But only thing is fodder chaffing will address almost 70 to 80% of our problems. This is the another important thing that is related to tree fodder cultivation. So as a part of our project, actually we could promote actually sesbania as well as actually and hedge lucerne. And but only thing is actually sesbania and subabul, but farmers preferred sesbania over subabul, and we could actually go for some nursery plantations, and actually we started to distribute it to the farmers, and actually they have used it. So you can see how the farmers were able to happy tree plantations. And we should understand that actually it is a multi-cut fodder tree, and actually it doesn't require much space. Even actually it can be grown in actually on the bunds, which will help us actually as for the bunds as well. Actually you can use it even in front of your house, actually, or behind your house, where there is little space available. So that will really help the farmers with regard to fodder trees. So this is again the conventional feed resources we have, because in fact we have this, and there are some very negligible studies on cactus. We have negligible studies on banana stem and sunflower heads. But only thing is actually how to use them is very essential, and we need to look at them and actually look at the scientific backgrounds behind working all on this. So we could actually try to come up with certain publications as a part of agriculture extension in South Asia with regards to our fodder experiences, then actually the sugarcane trash utilization. And I'll be going ahead, and I have seen actually some farmers using spent malt, because I was part of ICRISAT and I could see some farmers nearby Hyderabad, nearby Goa, nearby actually in Haryana and Punjab using the spent malt. And we also could see that it is very cost effective. It is having less cost, having a better nutrient composition. But we need to understand actually we need to still look for a long-term study on this, because there are some veterinarians complaining, there are some farmers complaining who say that actually more feeding of spent malt or maybe the brewer's grain will cause certain other issues, maybe the genetic issues as well as actually some other issues related to reproduction as well as actually the these are the issues. And actually there is a long-term study required, because we were part of this spent malt feeding, and we as in ICRISAT, and we could see many farmers using it. Actually many farmers got the cost effectively, but we need to have a long-term study on this. So even there are different methods, just like we have silage in case of direct green fodder. It can be done by direct feeding or direct ensiling as well as drying. So we need to understand that feeding of this spent malt should be done hardly within 24 hours or 24 to 36 hours, because if you leave it for more time, actually there are chances of contamination, fungal growth, which will again cause certain issues to our animals. So feeding it within 24 to 36 hours, but having a long-term study on this is very essential. So this was having some experiences, and this is again the strategy that we could plan for actually Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh, because the biggest issue, I don't know if we have some participants from Madhya Pradesh Bundelkhand region as well as actually the Uttar Pradesh Bundelkhand region. One biggest issue we have is the Annapratha, because the practice of having stray cattle, and we have a large fallow land. So we try to address that issue as well. Actually, we had some strategies for the Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh, and we started working on that. And I'm also happy that we could merge up our technical aspects with the field level. The farmers who are not growing actually green fodder started growing, and we could see actually Barsim, and we could also see many other fodder varieties. And you can see actually we had crop cutting experiments in case of fodder, and we could also see some farmers growing it and selling it in their fields. So there was a very good news coverage in that particular Bundelkhand region that we could reach 24 villages actually as a part of Bundelkhand projects. So again, this were also being published as a part of the publication activities. And I'll be going ahead with a few other experiences, because we have field level experiences, then we also have a public-private partnership, we have institutional approaches, in fact. So I'm just giving one or two examples. One example is of the Tamil Nadu Veterinary University, where actually they started tying up with the farmers. So take a case because it was started in 2012 and the activity is still being worked out. What they do basically is they identify interested farmers, they give a good germination seeds to the farmers will grow the fodder. Once the fodder is ready, the fodder seeds are being harvested and it is being given back to KVK, and KVK is actually packing it and it is selling it. So now we have actually a win-win situation for the university, for the government, as well as actually for the farmers, because we know farmers are ready to grow because they have land, they have water, but they need some work, they need some business. So this is an appreciable model that is being done by Namakkal KVK in Tanvas. And in the same way, actually, I can give another example of a veterinarian actually who started a small fodder cafeteria in Nagpur, near Nagpur, because this is a case of actually a village, veterinary dispensary in Nandpur village, where actually the concept started in 2014, because we see most of the veterinarians or most of the veterinary hospitals have certain land with us. Maybe we have half acre, we have 1 acre. So what we can do is have at least few fodder seeds, fodder varieties. Maybe when a farmer comes to your place, okay, if he's having some time, he can go around the fodder seeds, or actually if you are not in the office, at least you'll be happy to see your fodder seeds. You'll try to get some knowledge about this. And this is the concept where it was started in Maharashtra. And because of actually, obviously the government systems have their own limitations actually. So that is just giving certain approaches actually, how an institutional approach can be built up as an individual, because being a veterinarian, being a LDO we can do this exercise. So then this is actually the glance of Fodder Cafeteria when it started in 2014, and they slowly started generating some revenue. They started giving it to different farmers on a very nominal basis. And we have experiences of Acacia where actually you can use it in emergencies, and many NGOs are also working on this particular concept. And we have actually the hydroponic fodder, because in fact there are advantages and disadvantages with hydroponic fodder. But if we have a very less space, obviously we cannot grow it in a larger space. So we can think of this. We can have a very low investment with regards to the economic model, hardly 1.2 to 1.3 lakhs. And actually, if you want to go for a good structure, it is a steel structure and it will cost more than 2 to 3 lakhs. But only thing is, again, it depends on how many trays you want to have. It depends on the structure you have. It depends on the infrastructure you have. I normally say that if we have a very less land, we don't have any other option to do, maybe we can go for hydroponics, or else actually we can go ahead with our routine conventional method of fodder cultivation. In the same way, actually, we have Azolla. Azolla, although it is good with regards to the actually nutrient composition, but the field level application, field level adoption is very poor. The biggest issue we have faced is with regards to the cumbersome process, because we need to have a daily monitoring. We need to keep changing the water. We need to have changing the plastic sheets. And actually, again, sometimes if there is a smell with the Azolla, which actually animals may not be comfortable. But in fact, actually, it has a better nutrient value, but it has got little, I can say, actually limitations with regard to the field level adoption. So we all know the importance of sprouts in cattle feeding. Not only the cattle, we can use it for even any other animals also. So that's actually, we need to have it with regards to any health issues, the reproductive aspects, and it is very beneficial for our animals. So after going with some of the field level experiences, I'm just trying to give 2 or 3 entrepreneurial opportunities we have, because I gave one example of Cornext Silage where they are working. And then we have a company, which is a global company based at Hyderabad, that is Advanta. They are actually involved in fodder seed production. Then even they are also happy to share some of their sample seeds. If you want to grow on a small land, they will give some certain varieties free of cost. You can grow. And if you're happy, you can try to collaborate with them. And this is the fodder seeds. Today, it has become a very big business company. You can even Google it later on. Then we have another one, that is Foragen, which are involved in forage seeds production. And apart from that, we also see many other farmers who are growing on a very small scale, and they're actually able to circulate it among the farmers. They're able to pack it up and give it to different places through courier services. And same again, this is again the case of our own farm, the LRIC, the farm which I am heading. So we have actually, I consider this as an institutional approach where we are trying to have different fodder varieties. I told we have got almost 15 different fodder varieties, and we have a very beautiful fodder museum with almost 30 different fodder varieties, maybe 10 by 10 feet of fodder museum, because one fodder area block, 10 by 10 feet for actually the hedge lucerne, for actually Napier, you have it for super Napier, you have red Napier. So different varieties we have tried to cultivate, and we are having an exclusive 8 acres of land for grazing of our own animals. So the only animals, and we even started having a vermicompost unit, and we also are actually, as you can see, actually the old fodder chaffing unit which has been modified, being renovated. Because why I'm trying to tell is because we can think of an institutional approach, how small approaches we can really help the farmers, as well actually we can really help the other officials. See, these, along with that, we are also involved in actually revenue generation activities. All, I'm giving the example of fodder seeds, the milk, the auction of livestock, the cow urine, everything we are able to actually sell. And there is a lot of demand. I'm trying to give this chart for the last 4 years. You can see, because our presentation is on fodder seeds, you can see from 2021, only we had 90,000. Then we moved to directly 4.2 lakhs. And then it is 5.34 lakhs. So there is an increasing trend for fodder seeds, as well as root slips, as well as actually the fodder stem cuttings. There is a lot of demand for fodder stem cuttings in terms of you have actually Napier cuttings, like the red Napier, you have got super Napier. So they are all different varieties which have been developed over the previous traditional varieties. So from DHN6, we had actually the Coimbatore varieties, we had actually the Harvard Napier varieties. Then things have been, we had good research. Hello.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So, yeah, is it audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you. So then these are some of the apps that are being developed by different organizations, Feedipedia, because I say actually I'm staying in different part of the country and I need to go actually, what are the varieties available with me? What is actually agronomical practices for a particular fodder crop? And this is developed by even 2 apps are being developed by our own veterinary university here. And this is actually a document that was being published from ICRISAT when I was there. And this is actually, this is covering almost 55 different varieties of fodder crops in legume, non-legume. And we have actually the different varieties like emergency, I can see the unconventional fodder seeds like that. So this is our own, even as it was mentioned initially, I am working on actually NASF project, National Agriculture Science Fund, where we are trying to develop a website covering different livestock units like dairy, sheep, goat. We have got poultry. And as a part of that project, actually, we also have a different website, a link, which is actually in the development stage. We are trying to address through this different more website. Like fodder cereals are covered, fodder grasses, fodder legumes, fodder trees. If you click on that, automatically it will take you to the concerned fodder cereal varieties. You have maize, you have got actually sorghum, so like that. So, and I would like to share this slide because in order to say that actually ultimately innovation system is a very essential component, because I want to develop a fodder museum. I want to have, because I was giving up some institutional approaches. As an individual, I can develop the things, but actually we need a better support from our policymakers. We need a better support from the logistics. We need better support from the extension information. So all these things should be clubbed together as an innovation system, because it helps us in generation of ideas. It helps us in transfer of ideas. It helps us in transfer of technologies, and also see what are the lacunae and how to go ahead. Because in fact, this was my part of my PhD work actually, and when I was doing the research at IVRI. So these are some of the new, because I am coming to the end of my presentation, because I think I was a bit fast in this, but I would be happy to take up the discussion part, the questions part. So we know that today we need to focus on newer areas as a livestock expert. So we have market-led extension. We need to focus on region-based practices. We need to focus on species-based practices. We need to focus on relevant technologies which are related to my area. So the technology which is related in relevant in Karnataka may not be relevant in UP or may not be relevant in Jammu and Kashmir. So we need to understand that concept, in fact, and then we need to look at the organic livestock farming. Today we are seeing a lot of demands for organic products. There are again some complications, some contradictions with regards to this. And we also have another area, that is value addition, because we see selling of milk will not fetch us better in income, but actually if we can sell the milk products, like you have ice cream, you have peda, you have actually the paneer, so that will give us a better opportunity. These are some of the new areas a livestock expert or actually livestock professionals should look into. And in fact, we have certain opportunities in this area, because we have many activities which we can look at, and in a very low investment ventures, then there is a lot of scope. Then we can think of having we can promote integrated farming, because I can give another example where actually farmers are very intelligent in actually having certain entrepreneurial activities at their level. Because what I'm seeing is they're purchasing some cattle, especially the cattle or buffalo. If I give an example of a heifer, because the farmer is purchasing a heifer at hardly 8 to 10,000 rupees, and he is keeping it for 1 to 2 years, and he is able to make it pregnant, and he's selling it actually at 30 to 40,000 rupees. Means this is very important concept actually what the farmers are doing, but which are not being recorded in most of our books. So such things we need to identify, and we need to see actually many of the farmers. Like I can give example of a Devni bull, where actually farmers are able to rear good bulls, and actually they are giving services to the cows which are in heat. So they are charging 500 rupees to 800 rupees per service. So which is a very good entrepreneurial opportunity. In the same way, we need to explore in our own feed and fodder areas. So that is very much essential. And I would like to conclude by saying that actually this animal husbandry sector has a very great scope and production potential. And I also told in the initial period that actually there is no single strategy, but because the strategies can be developed at our level. A strategy which is relevant for one place cannot be relevant for another. One species cannot be relevant for another species. We need to create our own strategies, looking at our own situations, understanding our critical gaps, and then we need to seriously reorient our approaches towards feed and fodder production. Because I am sure if our animals get good water to drink, good feed and fodder to consume, then obviously we will not have any works for actually the healthcare aspects. So I am sure actually our healthcare as well as the breeding aspects can be well covered by having a scientific feed and fodder practices. And we need to have actually we can work with a collaboration, and then we need to see that actually a very important human resource. I'll give this example when it comes to feed and fodder aspects. Fodder field, fodder area, fodder science, I can say, or the agronomy, although it is being studied in veterinary science for a very brief period, it is being studied in actually the agriculture sector for a very brief period, but today it is nobody's baby, because veterinarians feel that actually it should be done by an agronomist who is agriculture person, but agriculture person says that it should be looked after by a veterinarian because it is like serving the purpose of animals. So this is the problem we are facing, and we need to see that a professional should be ready to actually I should be able to tell what is the seed rate, what is the what is the manure required, what are the fertilizers required, when is the harvesting season, how many cuttings I can get, how many tons of harvest I can get for each and every particular maybe I can say a particular actually variety. Okay, so that is why actually even it is the requirement for all the veterinarians to understand the things. In fact, actually the agriculture people are ready to help us, but this is the responsibility for both of us. And that is why I feel that the innovation system should work. And at the end, actually, we have some examples of public-private partnership. I gave examples of ICT, how we can generate the information and how we can actually give the need-based information to our farmers so that they are able to use it for themselves. So, and actually excel. But actually this is a beautiful ICRISAT campus, and this is IVRI, and I thank both these institutes as well as my own institute for giving me this I can say this experience, and I thank NADCL for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences. Thank you all the participants, and thanks to the organizers.
Thank you, sir.
Hello?
For the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Now the is open for discussion. Anybody is having question, please raise your hand, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question directly.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Sir, it was a very nice presentation to know about the different apps that have come.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're audible. Am I audible?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Please, please.
Sir, it was a very nice presentation, and especially the apps that have come up. Sir, I have a request that can you suggest, or can you just briefly tell us about the fodders that we can grow in the grasslands in Kashmir side? Because in Kashmir area, or is there any app or anything from where the people, the farmers over here, they can refer to the price and everything, sir?
Okay. Thank you, madam, for your kind words. And I would like to share here, because I already told, because that region to region variations are there in our Indian context. I would be happy to share the contact details of one senior scientist at IGFRI, which is based in Kashmir, because we have a regional office of IGFRI Jhansi. So we have one in Dharwad, we have one in even J&K, where actually I can share the number. Maybe I can share it to the concerned organizers, and they can take it forward. Okay, I think they will be, because I can share the things, but they can give the exact picture of the actual grasses that we can grow and some of the issues we have in that particular part of the country. Is that okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.